Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. It's Luke here from ZCFX Trading. Now in this video I'm going to give you guys a recap on the pound dollar. It's a very nice trade, and it was a pretty simple trade. It was internal, anticipating a potential short-term counter trend trade, which you'll shortly see. Yeah, first trade of the week. Fortunately it was a win, so can't really complain. But as you can see here, H4 was overall bearish, and at this point price is looking pretty overextended, and we are due a pullback at some point. Now I am pretty obviously overall bearish until we start to break above the external highs, but as you can see here, price obviously looks overextended at this point. We had this nice initial shift to the upside. Price had a nice wick rejection here and moved bearish again, but it tapped into this area of demand there. Yes, it is low probability demand zone, as it is obviously inside of that internal structure. And then price had a nice initial reaction off there, and again had this initial mitigation, which price continued to the upside there. Anyways, there wasn't really much high time frame involved. It was more so 15-minute trade and the potential, well, anticipated short-term counter trend trade. As you can see here, we had this nice initial H4 internal mitigation, which I just previously mentioned. Price has shifted bullish from there, taking out some previous lower highs, and then price more so, well, we came back down and then we just consolidated as we went into Asia session. Obviously, I don't trade around these times anyways. I trade London and obviously New York, pre-New York sometimes. But yeah, Asia opened, we had this liquidity point, price swept out the Asia lows there, working out this previous low as well, and still staying inside the previous demand that we had seen there. Then we had seen another shifted upside, breaking structure again above the previous lower high, and then another pullback into the external M15 POI. Now it's also important to note here as well, now obviously we did react off this previously. I was initially looking for a potential short-term sell-off here as well, just based on the supply chain. And I mean, you can consider this at the point of time if you just remove this fundamentally driven move there, which is obviously CPI at half-1 that we had just seen previously not long ago. If you just look at this bit of price action, you can clearly tell that, okay, price is more so trading inside of the supply and demand. There's not really any control on who's in control pretty much. We've got the supply chains, we've got demand chains, so I was just literally looking to ride it short term into M15 zone, which I also refined on a M1, and it pretty much just hit my TP and just boom to the upside. Anyways, nice supply chain there. Unfortunately I didn't get an entry, I just missed it, and then price to pull back into this M15 POI, again shifting to the upside but tapping into this M15 supply. Now as you can see here, straight away it just looks like a range bound market for a good few hours there. You'll see it a bit more clear on the M1 in a minute, but range bound market, so price isn't, it's more so, and obviously with these wicks here, it's more so wick rejecting that sort of area, and obviously it's internally inside of this POI, which is also part of this previous supply chain. So even though, yes, the external range is bullish, it was just more so a short-term counter trend trade with anticipation that we're going to head down into this area and continue bullish again, in which we did see. Now jumping onto the M1, as you can see here, we had this initial tap into this M15 demand, which obviously looking for longs from there is absolutely valid. I just didn't get an entry there, unfortunately. As you can see, liquid sweep below the lows here, and then a nice impulsive shift to the upside, taking out some previous lower highs, and then a nice mitigation of this breaker, which was previously respected on the flip side. Now, again, just a nice supply chain, demand chain from that point onwards until we tapped into this area here. And then we had a nice impulsive, well, not impulsive, sorry, it's not very impulsive. We had a nice range bound market, and unfortunately, price just consolidated for a while. Didn't really give any clear opportunities to continue the bullish trend. Price was more so thinning out as we headed into pre-New York. And then New York started to potentially open as we headed into that pre-New York session. We had seen a shift to the downside, taking out that higher low there. So demand obviously failed, and supply is now potentially taking control with these, previous internal mitigations, etc., which you can, argue against what you'd mark up. And then again, price shift to the downside from this new range low and new range high. And I was simply waiting for a pullback into the POI, which I did get. But there's nice wick rejection to the upside there. And then we had a nice little engulfing candle there, which previously closed below the previous opposite open. And then yeah, that's pretty much where my entry was. I got filled in around this area. Obviously it wasn't precisely this exact price, but I got filled in around this area. And then yeah, stops above the range high there to be safe, and then just target it down into this M1 refined zone, which is also a part of the M15 POI. But the reason I chose this zone and not up here or whatever is just simply because that's what where the liquidity was before the big impulsive shift to the upside there. But that's pretty much it really for the trade. And then obviously from there, I mean, you got some scaling opportunities at this point as well. and then price more so shifted to the upside there, provided a nice break opportunity to the upside there as well, and nice demand chain, and then CPI kicked in and just flew to the upside. But yeah, that's pretty much my trade on the pound dollar. Hopefully you gained some value from this one. Again, it was a lower probability setup, but it's still valid. Just because it's lower probability, it doesn't mean that it's not valid. It just means it's simply lower probability. You know, if you were to have your setups in A, B, C, this would be more considered in C, potentially B setup. The reason and logical reasons were there. It made sense in terms of anticipation of the you know, counter trend, internal mitigation, etc. that you just seen on the 15-minute time frame, and I was simply just looking to write it down initially into the 50 and 15 POI, but price was still bearish. We weren't breaking above any highs, and then I seen a nice M1 zone, which I find the M15 zone from the M15 zone. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And obviously price moves in cycles, consolidates, trends, and then whatever, right? So obviously after we seen that shift in the previous range bound market, it just made sense to be looking at potential shorts. But yeah, that's my trade in pound dollar, and like I said, hopefully this made sense. Make sure to rewatch the video and take some notes, and guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.